And I guess another tangent from that, whether this is Muncher juice or fish brew, have you either of you applied your product on disease plants and seen that they had a response to perhaps outgrow their disease, like a powdery mildew? I'm thinking hop latent, and just thinking that, wow, I wonder if Muncher juice could really make hop latent go asymptomatic or whatever.
I have put it on some. I don't specifically know which diseases the plants have, but I have had some things going on, and they did remain alive, and the diseases went away. But again, that's just an anecdotal test that I've done at home, and this is more things that we need to do some follow-up testing on. I've applied it to plants that were like trees that were just dead, and they ended up reviving. I've done a number of different applications with that, where plants that were just gone have come back to life. Plants that were like tomato plants, which normally you do your one growth and then they are gone, right? Well, I've had tomato plants continue to survive and bear fruit again. So there's a lot of odd things like that go on with it, and we need to do a lot more testing with that to see, now that we've got now that we're working with Leighton on this. So we're gonna be seeing some amazing results.
And so, to speak,
lab space. You got any lab space in your lab, Av? You got a lot of students that could be doing a lot of testing. You just got to get your hands on some Muncher juice.
Yeah.
Av, are you frozen?
Av looks frozen. He is not moving.
Yeah.
Av, can you hear us?
Is there anybody home? Av, you might have to jump off and jump back on. Yeah, there we go.
There he goes. An old trick.
Yep.
So I'll wait till Av gets back on, because I've experienced what I want to call virus suppression. So I've experienced virus suppression in redwoods, lemon trees, which were horribly infected with this virus. I forget the name of it. It makes the trunk crack and split open and ooze sap. It's really, really bad. I mean, I feel bad for these trees, because when it finally really takes hold, the tree just splits in half. Half of it falls on the ground, still somewhat alive. So I have been able to subdue it. Say again?
Is it a canker?
I believe it is, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And I've been able to suppress it to the point. Well, see, here's the problem is, again, these practices, nursery practices they don't sterilize between prunings. Like, you need to sterilize your cutting equipment between each tree, so you don't just spread it across. So these guys came in and spread it throughout the entire grove. I mean, and you could see that the ones that were just starting to be affected by it, they were seeing the little stress cracks on the bare bark. The other side of this coin is, out here in this California sun, if you do not have a decent canopy, the sunlight gets through and burns the trunk, burns the bark off, and then exposes that wood that then shows you that the wood is cracking due to this virus. So I was able to track the trees that were the least diseased against the ones that were literally breaking in half, and started comparing, like, okay, these ones weren't treated, these ones were treated. How do they look? And the ones that were treated definitely had an advantage and a less obvious impact of the virus versus the ones that weren't treated. So I truly believe that, yes, a combination of fish brew, worm castings, compost, Muncher juice combined together is going to be a really a heavy hitter, grand slam, whatever you want to call it. And again, it's diversity, right? You're using all of the different components of both existing natural processes as well as utilizing fruits. And we've all had this conversation before about feeding plants. It's so much easier for them to utilize and absorb quicker and process quicker than they can with just rocks, sand, silt, and clay. Ab, did you have any more questions, or otherwise we could start pulling up some test data reports?